My name's Gary Shotton. I'm here as a part of Inspiring Better Business. Today I will talk about wrongfully accused. Well, it was many years ago. I was in high school, or I think maybe even in college, and my father is a very quiet type individual, quite the opposite of me. First of all, we lived some 40 miles from a town of 700. If you're on a farm and ranch, you're not engaging with people on a regular basis. Dad was very bright, very great entrepreneur, and he was the type of person that when my dad spoke, people listened, but he didn't just talk all the time. In the process of time, we're wheat farmers. I have to explain this story a bit, because Dad was wrongfully accused of stealing 1 truckload of wheat from his neighbor. Boy, that was like throwing a dart or a dagger, shooting a knife blade in my dad's gut. He would never think of doing that, and he never would do it, and it was just beyond himself to be even accused of this. So what happens is we have large farms, and large farms don't always have a harvest, and the people that cut the wheat are people that travel from the very south end of the United States to the north as the wheat gets ripe, and these custom cutters have multiple combines and multiple trucks. So one cutter might have 8 combines, another one 6, and so we as farmers would contract these custom cutters that work their way up as the wheat gets ripe to cut our wheat. And one person who we had used many years was a friend, had done it for us and many other of our neighbors many years. We again contracted with him to cut our wheat along with the other neighbors. Well, as wheat gets ripe, the combine would come into my dad's field, and the person driving the truck with the load of wheat would take it to the elevator where everybody takes it, and we'd just inform the person at the elevator that this is the Shotton's wheat. Well, the accusation came from a neighbor that my dad and 4 other farmers conspired to each one steal 1 load of wheat. And by doing that, he just said that as the harvester cut off as his land and the truck was destined to the elevator, that the driver said this is not the neighbor's, but it was not his, but it was my dad's wheat. In other words, my dad conspired to steal the wheat. This was tough. This was unbelievably inaccurate. But this individual chose to file a lawsuit and go to court with jury trial. And now in a small town, 5 farmers, my dad and 4 others, are defending themselves against one neighbor that eventually proved out simply did not want to or did not have the money to pay the harvester, and never ever paid the harvester that year. He was tricking his way out, but at the shame of my parents and these other respectable farmers. Why would I tell this story? Now, by the way, this cost my dad $3,000. And the cost of that 1 load of wheat was $350. So he spent almost 10 times the amount of money that he was accused of stealing to defend himself. So it all worked out over time. It still is a lesson learned, because you're probably going to be wrongfully accused at some time. If you're in business, something you didn't do, someone's going to say you did. And now what do you do about it? Well, first of all, if it's something of character, it's not legal, it's not of the size that you think that this should be dealt with, I would just ignore it. I know that's hard to do. It depends on how the person's accusing. But a lot of times that person has a problem. They want you to fight. They want you to come to battle with them. And the understanding is that your character is so strong in the community, and your willingness not to fight this individual and let it go away without any words, without even responding to this individual, will speak very loudly, very loudly. And it does hinge upon your personal character being strong, but that's normally the case. Somebody's attacking you, and in fact, they may be attacking you because they don't like your personal character, and they want to minimize your character because of their lower character. They're trying to equal the playing field, if you want to say that. So it sounds hard, but when you start responding, you start defending yourself, there's probably 9 out of 10 people didn't even know about the accusation. Now you brought it to light even more than it was first brought to light. That's hard, but you might want to just turn the cheek and go the other way. I mean, I think that's biblical. Just turn the cheek and go the other way and go the extra mile. Now, like in my dad's case, there had to be a response, because if he didn't respond, then legally he's admitting guilt. And of course he responded, and it did cost him. It hurt him more than financially, because he was concerned about his character. And so the character speaks so loud that the accusations that are verbal, by the way, verbal is the normal way people do this. And, just words do not speak as loud as actions. And your actions will drown out those character questions, those wrong accusations. Do good business. I'm not just saying play dead. Respond when need to respond, but don't accuse that person. Refuse to fight. Remember this: the truth will always come out. Always. It may not come out even while you're alive. It may come out later. But the truth of your character, the truth of the issue that was at large, the truth of maybe a misunderstanding. Of course, when you're accused, you could go to the individual and try to resolve it and say, hey, is there a misunderstanding? Could I make sure that there's something wrong that I've done? Will you forgive me if I have done something wrong? I mean, those are character qualities that you want to have. One last word. Be careful with Facebook. Don't just put everything under the sun on Facebook. Our social media is so easy to get things out, so easy to accuse somebody, so easy to make a wrong accusation unintentionally yourself. So be very careful. Thanks for being a part of Inspiring Better Business.